Hi everyone, just a little video showing how the plants have got on and some that haven't. Anyway, we'll start with the good side. There's my lovely Phocea crispa. Look at the way it's growing. I thought I'd lost this, but no, there it is in full beauty. Definitely crisper, you can tell by the leaves. Crisper meaning obviously crisped up. So yeah, that's doing fine. Next to it is one large mammillaria, which I've had for many years. That came from a friend years ago. It had been laying on its side because I couldn't get it in a big enough pot, but I did, and it's now in a decent sized pot. It may be Bombaceae, I'm not too sure. Yeah, looking around the plants, they have done well. This lot have done well. Nothing can be said of something further down. This is the old Pereschia. Takes buckets of water. I say these plants do need plenty of water because this greenhouse gets pretty hot. My Cibettii have got buds on them, so they're nice. When the flowers come out, I know it's a very small plant, but they flowers, but they very, very strong scent. Rhipsalis cerascula. It actually grows like a weed. My example, this one is more like Orsana than Variegator. It had to be chopped up because it got too big. So that was the main body. I think it's rooted now. It didn't really like too much hot sun. And the Pachypodium, if it's coming up right. Some of the mesems. I'll show around the other side how the tree ferns are. They're good. More or less everything is good, but we'll have a look in a minute. And it's changed my ideas on things. Things have changed through the years. They haven't got better, they've got worse. And I talk of seeds. I'm not going to waste my time or money buying any more seeds. They are a complete and utter failure. They either don't come up. There's supposed to be 100 lithops in there. Rubbish. So I'm afraid the days of good seeds are over. I remember the good seeds. If some of you may remember the African Succulent Plant Society run by Cyril Parr. They used to have superb seed lists, mainly mesems, but they were on collected seed from Ralph Ravi of South Africa. He bought a nursery, I think, from another gentleman called Bernard Karp. I know I'm going back a few years. They were the good days. And the ASP was a society which came out years before its time. And it's also caused a lot of the newer then other succulent societies, including MSG, the Mesem Society, which I was a founder member of. Well, as I say, the seeds that used to come across from Africa or South Africa from Ralph Ravi were good, mainly conophytums with data. Okay, perhaps you can't do it now with the restrictions on. It's only caused by greedy people going out and not just taking a few seeds, taking all the plants. So things have changed, and they haven't changed for the better. Well, anyhow, that's the seedlings in there. I shall dump those. A complete and utter waste of time. The quality of the seeds are not there. Years ago, seeds used to be packed in a little bit of tissue paper. Not now. You hardly see them in the little packets. and the amount of seeds you get for the price is minimum, absolutely minimum. So I'm not going to ever waste my money on getting seeds unless they come from a good dealer. Well, I don't know who good dealers are, so I'm not going to bother about getting seeds from the societies. I remember the aspen, they were good seeds. They germinated 100%, but not anymore. Rubbish. Anyhow, after my little rant, I like to have a little rant occasionally. Clears the air. Some of the Mezemzem. Now, funny enough, they were watered only a few days ago, and the poor things look as if they need more water. I did, in fact, water the seedlings, and as you can see, they look as if they haven't been touched. But believe me, they have. The temperatures here have been very, very high, and if this is going to be the norm, then another reason for don't waste your time raising seeds. It's just not worth it. Anyway, let's have a look outside. Excuse the mess. Excuse the mess. Here you can see the tree ferns. I hope I've got it in focus. These I thought I'd lost. Look at the way they look now. Beautiful. There's the other one. These are from New Zealand, and they've done very, very well. Although, as I say, I did think that I had lost them getting through a horrible winter. Down the bottom there you've got a little thing. Years ago I planted some aspidestras out in the garden. Well, they're coming through again, so I've covered them over, because what I shall probably do is spray this area with weed killer, but avoiding getting them on the aspidestra. Aspidestras were known as the cast iron plant. Those probably remember Gracie Fields used to sing about it, biggest aspidestra in the world. Well, no, that's the aspidestra. They were slow growers. I took a cutting of that for indoors. Don't look too much at the dead opuntias. I've had those for years, but this last winter killed off some of them. Some are okay. As I say, this last winter was a killer, and it looks like the summer's been a killer for some of the seeding. Excuse the mess. We'll have a look quickly at one of the other greenhouses, which are okay. We'll open the door and go in. Some of the opuntias in here, Opuntias tetracactus, call them what you like. Names change. All right, I remember the old names. Being an old fogey like me, I wonder I'm still on my two legs. And the plants along here, they haven't done too bad. They take a lot of water. Tray there of Fenestrarias, some Prosperous Nellis. Well, these come off a plant which might have crossed with Cymbeline, so they might not be as pure as they should be. Few of the smaller opuntias which did not do very well. Funny enough, think of opuntias as being easy to grow. They're not. Well, not these ones. They can be so-and-sos. All at the end here we've got some of the nice ones. My Aloe Ferox, it's either Ferox or Molothiae. That suffered badly from the cold. The heater packed up, but I think I've saved it. Fan on, giving a bit of air. That's the noise you can hear. The opuntias. I think that's Opuntia vestita at the back, meaning clothed, and it refers to the fact that it's covered in woods, either Flacosus or Vestites, I'm not too sure. I'm getting old, so memories don't always stand up to what they should do. So please excuse me. Just notice these Opuntias are starting to show signs of growth. They normally come up in the later summer, so that is growing. They were repotted this year. Along the other side you've got a few more Tephrocactus. You've got a very poor looking Invicta. Don't know why, but that is definitely on its last legs. No reason. I think certain things have a lifespan, I suppose, like all of us. It's certainly the case of my poor pussycat, but as I say, she lived to 18 to 19, so she had a good innings. But it does come to us all in the end. We suddenly, well, not suddenly, we kick the bucket, and this is what happened to some of the plants. I just noticed a bloody crack in the glass there. I don't know how that happened. It hasn't broken the glass, so it'll remain there. Just below we've got a few more Mesems. Got my little baby's toes. Fenestraria opalophila, or Antiaco. One's yellow, one's white. And there's one there, I think it's that one. I'm hoping I'm pointing to it okay. Then I was pointing to the right one. I think that's the one there. That one I think is a cultivar. It's got larger flowers but more of an orange colour. Anyhow, there we are. That's baby's toes. And we've got Gibbeum geminum, which means twin. Now let's have a look further down. Excuse the mess. Oh God, the place is like a pigsty, but not to worry. I can only manage what I can do. This greenhouse is not a very good example. This one is kept, it's not even heated, so that got through the wind. It did have some losses, but I'm afraid that's not a very good example. Those cars you see are not mine. I couldn't afford cars of that calibre. Right, in here, we've seen these before, but they've come on a bit. The Xeriosicius are coming on nicely. The Phocea Camura, that one down there, that seems to be coming on fine. These plants, as I said before, they do need a fair amount of water, and that's what they get, and the occasional feeding. I use forms of Tomarite, which seems to be a good feeder for them. You've got your Lophophorus, some of those marked a bit unfortunately. I don't know why. I think a lot of it is due to the extreme heat. As you can see, I've got the windows open, they're on automatic vents, and even then they still mark. Which is a great pity, because this plant here would have been a very good show example. I don't go to shows now. As far as I'm concerned, shows are a waste of time. Well, I say a waste of time, not a waste of time, it's just that, you know, packing plants up and taking them along. I'm getting too old for that. I don't mind going to have a look at them. I remember the old days when shows were very much different to what they are now. These are Mammillaria plumosa. Plumosa, like a feather. Lichtenberger principus. I think that's Geometrizans, Myrtillocactus geometrizans. Definitely move soon, it's almost touching the glass. And Cleistocactus straussii. This one, I don't know what it is. It's obviously a monstrous form. Could be a euphorbia. Looks like it. Gasteria armstrongii, hybrid Warthia Gasteria. Well, the plants at the end, they're looking quite good actually. They do like a drink. The Echinopsis, which came from a collection which I was looking after, the collection's mine now. I was asked to look after them and would be paid to have them heated. Well, that never happened, and the person that I got them from expected me to hand them over on her, if she ever did kick the bucket, to a third party, which I think's a bloody cheek, consider I've looked after them. Well, I've lost some of them, but I've looked after them and spent out. So if the person hears this one, tough. I'm sorry, but that's how I feel. There's some more of the plants. The majority of these small ones were plants from that collection, and they were in a pretty poor state when I got them. They're looking a bit better now. Two Peng Pearl, I don't think they're succulent, although I'm not too sure. At the top here you've got the good old glottiphilums. Some people say grottiphilums, but no, I quite like glottiphilums. They like full sun and not too much water, but they do need some water. There's some seeds of glottiphilums. In those nice trays were from the local shop where I got my food in, so they've come in handy. Looking further along, we've got the old what one's that? Pluspalus Belusia, I think that is, that large plant. I'm hoping I'm pointing to it right, but I can't rightly see because it's so bright in here. So if I'm saying something and I'm not pointing to it, I do apologise. My Pachypodium namaquanum, that is coming into full leaf. Those are not easy plants to grow. Euphorbia Susannae, looking very nice. A few more of the plants. Some more grotties. Had these years. Whether they're a form of linguiform, I don't know. Linguiform obviously means in the shape of a tongue and refers to the leaves. And back down here we've got some of the other smaller mesems. Some of those are coming through nicely. As I say, they don't seem to sparkle, but I don't know, it's been a funny time. Those echiverias, or cabbages as some people might say, were also from that collection. They've done quite well. They're funny enough, they're plants I would have never have had in the collection, but as they came to me, and I try to look after all the plants I've got and try to grow them well. I'm afraid I can't always grow them well. We've got Aloniopsis schneezii there, a little sedum. I've had a bit of a drink. Over here we've got a load of my Nellies, Pluspalus Nelli. I've lost a couple of them. I'll take those out. You've got Similans there. I think that's Similans. I had a plant of that, or some seeds of that, from MSG when it was run by Terry. Unfortunately, when Terry died, which is a great shame, and a great shame where his plants went to, because they don't think they went to the person they were intended to go to. I know damn well that if they had gone to the other person, they would have been propagated, and his work would have been carried on, but it didn't happen. So a lot of his plants are obviously now lost. You know, great pity. He'd done a lot of work on the mesems, and one of the foremost experts on the genus Mesembryanthemum, ACAceae as it's sometimes called. We've got the plants at the end here. But I'm afraid my memories go back many, many years. I remember poor old Jack Brown. He was a friend we knew of Bates, who had a very good collection, mainly Awarthias and Mesems. There's a few lithops at the back there. As I remember visiting Jack many years ago at oh God, I can't think of the name of the place. It was Willowbank. It'll come to me. I can't always get the names. Perhaps I'm getting a bit too old, I don't know. As I say, it's been a strange time. But he and his wife always made me very welcome. The first thing she would say, "Do you want a cup of tea?" And I thought that was very nice. Well, he had some very good, he had a lot of contacts as well. He knew people called Kenny Hull. Now, Kenny Hull is a name I remember when I was a kid, and he used to supply seeds to F.W. Woolworths. Kenny Hull of, I think it was Basildon, not too sure, but it was definitely Kenny Hull. I know I bought a lot of his seeds in the past. None of them came up. I'd probably done them wrong, you know. But I was a kid at the time. And before I've sort of learned how to do it. But now I don't know what I'm doing wrong with the seeds, so I'm not going to bother with seeds anymore. I might just say, any of my own seeds I've collected, I've got a couple there. Don't know if you can see that. I tickled those two up a while back, and hopefully they'll have some seeds in there, so I might try and raise those. But as regards buying seeds, I'm not going to waste my money. It's a complete and utter waste. If anyone likes to argue with me about this, feel free. I'm expressing my feelings and how things have changed, and they haven't changed for the better. Things have got so expensive. The amount of seeds have got less and less. I used to pack seeds years ago. Granted, I always have a laughing joke about eating biscuits at the same time to increase the amount of seeds a biscuit does. A complete lie, but it was a little joke I used to put in. Yeah, those days are over, I'm afraid. Anyhow, that is more or less it at the moment. Because I nearly break my blimmin' neck getting out. I'm definitely finding lots of things to talk about, but can't always talk about them. Anyhow, that's out of the big greenhouse. I have in fact ordered another Xerococcus. The reason getting it is I want to get several clones so that if they flower, I can cross them, because they are dioecious, meaning male and female are on separate plants. And I saw in eBay another one, Dangurii, which obviously isn't Dangurii, it's Pererii, coming from Italy, which is subject to a lot of high temperatures, so I don't know whether I'm going to get it. So wait and see what happens. I'm hoping it will be the Pererii and not the Dangurii, which was advertised as that, but definitely they made a mistake. They show the actual plant that I should be getting. So I wait with interest and see what happens. Anyhow, I'm going to shut up now. I've been talking too long. Sorry for the little rants, but rants keep me going. And I'll only cheer up when I get another pussycat. So there we are. Thanks again for any comments put in on the phone to any of the things I put up. I'm always grateful. I try and answer where I can, but I can't seem to always get around to it. So thanks again. Thank you. And I'm going. Thank you.